Hello, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to the series called, if I can speak today, you'll find out why in a minute, Candid Conversations with Chronic Illness, where I talk about topics no one usually talks about day-to-day life living with chronic illness. This wasn't going to be the original topic of today, but today's topic of today is called Sick Isn't Just Sick. And the reason that we're doing this as the first episode is because I am actually sick. I'm not awfully sick, but I do have a sinus infection and a double ear infection. So I'm on medication for that, but if I look like I'm not feeling well and or look a bit pale, that is why. So I figured this is one of the points I wanted to do for an episode of this, so I figured, you know what better time to film this episode than when I am actually sick. Now, throughout this video, you will hear me referencing a friend that I'm going to keep her name anonymous, but her name is Ace. She's the same age as me. Very similar background, but no similarities in health besides mild asthma for her. I'm going to be using her as a baseline reference throughout this video, but hi Ace, love you, thank you for letting me use you as a comparison in this video. So first off, typically when someone chronically ill gets sick, it's never just a cold. So many people use the phrase like, oh, it's just a cold, it's just a stomach bug, it's just this. For people who have immune compromised health issues and stuff like that, for us, it's never just a cold or just a stomach bug. It was just a stomach bug that made me lose the last motility in my gut that I had. It was just a stomach bug that landed itself into my blood and gave me my first ever port infection. Like, it's never just a bug or a cold or stuff like that. Small things, and I can't even say small, but things that normal people would call like small ailments affect people with chronic illness to a much higher level. And we're about to get into that in a minute. And I'm going to bet that the chronically ill people in the comments probably let me know if this happens to you too. But personally, 9 times out of 10, when I get sick in any way, shape, or form, that typically induces a flare for me. If you're unfamiliar with what the term flare means, that for people with chronic illness means that symptoms that we deal with day to day. So for me, I'll say my migraines, my body aches, and my fatigue are typically very much amplified because they are right now. So a flare is when your typical symptoms from your chronic illness are amplified due to something getting sick, being that thing. Now, it doesn't always happen like every time you get sick. It does not always induce a flare, but for me personally, 9 times out of 10, that is what happens, and getting yourself into a flare is its own monster we end up having to deal with. Also, side note, if you are new here, hi, my name is Rebecca. I'm sorry I did not do the intro properly. I just dove straight into this. I I have what I call a Dory brain sometimes, and it especially gets worse when I'm sick. That is why if you see me looking over here on the screen, that is because I had the little post-it note section open on my laptop where I have my notes so I don't go down rabbit holes and I can stay kind of on task. So, pardon if I'm not always looking in the camera, and also I know I move my hands a lot. It's a fidgeting thing. I don't actually have ADHD or autism. I just need something to occupy my hands. So, might be my mug, might be my figure 8 for my hair, it might be something. But I express myself with my hands. So, if that's something that bothers you, I'm really sorry. But yes, 9 times out of 10, a flare can be just as bad as the flu. I've had flares equally as bad as the flu, and they were not fun to deal with at all. Also, before I deep dive straight back into the topic, if you hear dog whimpering, whining, barking, anything like that, I apologize. There's a lot going on in my house at the time of filming, so I apologize about that. So I apologize for any excessive background noise that there might be. So one thing with being chronically ill is, and I touched on this a little bit, our bodies view what normal people would call small ailments as bigger threats. So, for example, my body deems strep throat or the flu, it's the bubonic plague, as far as my body understands. That literally is what my body thinks of it. That is how it reacts. It's just how it is. Same with strep throat. Me and the flu have never, ever gotten off on the right foot. If there's even a right foot to get on with the flu. But it's always hit me hard and hit me fast and never, ever been nice. But when you're chronically ill and sick, there are ways that it's different for when you're mostly healthy. So this is when you're going to meet my friend that I'm going to call Ace. So she is 22. She's same age as I am. She is healthy except for a little bit of asthma, but she's not on any management medication for it. So she's the first healthy, finger quotes, healthy person I could think of. So she's going to be our comparison example for today. So when me, a chronically ill person, gets sick, it's going to affect me different than it would Ace. So right now, I have a sinus infection and a double ear infection. I'm prescribed amoxicillin at a specific dose because I reacted to penicillin as a child, and we don't want to retry my exposure to that. It might have been a fluke that I reacted to penicillin. It could not have been. Personally, I don't have any wish to find out. But let's say Ace had a sinus infection, she most likely would have been put on penicillin instead of amoxicillin to clear it up. Also, the dosages could be very different. That could also, of course, be the difference of she's taller than me. It goes off of, height, weight. I deal with malabsorption issues, so a lot of times I need a stronger dose of something for my body to actually get the amount it needs. So that is a big factor when I get sick or get put on a medication of any kind, really, is we have to take into account what dose my body might actually need versus what we should actually start at. So, medications and treatment dosages might be different. Also, symptoms may present differently. Personally, I'm not sure if me and Ace have been sick, like, with the flu at the same time before? We probably have. We've known each other for 18 years, so we most likely have. But we're going to present slightly different, and part of that's because my body's going to respond to a threat different than her body will. She doesn't have immune system issues, so her immune system is going to just go full bore to protect her body. I have a not so great immune system, so mine's going to be on the struggle bus a little bit. I'm going to deal a little bit more with more fatigue and issues like that while I'm trying to beat this. So any kind of symptoms can present differently. I know she has had the flu before, but we've presented completely different. I think the biggest thing was like strep throat, is I never present strep throat like your normal baseline symptoms. Like, I never run a fever when I get strep throat. And that always throws everyone off if I have to go to urgent care, is, they're like, it can't be strep because, you don't have a fever. I've had strep multiple times and I've never run a fever. And this goes for every person. This isn't just a chronically ill person and a non-chronically ill person comparison, but each person presents differently. And that's just a fact. Now, one thing that is different between a chronically ill person and a non-chronically ill person, I don't like to use the reference of a healthy person, because is there ever truly really a definition of a healthy person, like a fully healthy person? Anyway, a non-chronically ill person, even though, yes, I know I said she has asthma, and yes, she does, so technically yes. But, hear me out. Our treatment and recovery time will be much different. So typically for me getting ill takes me out pretty much a week, and then pretty much a few days to a week post getting sick, my body needs to rest, to recover, to start getting back to normal. And I probably won't start feeling back to normal for a few weeks. I'll still feel pretty exhausted, and symptoms probably will still linger for a little bit. Also, one thing is, personally, and this is a smile, because I just heard a text as I'm filming, from Ace. Her actual name is Arya, who is my lovely best friend of 18 years. Love you, girl. Arya, when she gets sick, she doesn't need help with, like, day-to-day tasks. She could still, cook herself dinner, or, she might order takeout or something. But, doesn't need help doing, like, basic, normal tasks. Where a lot of time when I'm sick, like today, I needed to get syringes washed. I'm not feeling up to do so. So I had to ask my dad if he would mind washing syringes for me, which he did, which is very sweet of him. I have a very amazing family and friends support system that very much helped me when I'm going through rough patches. And for those of you that are watching, I love you very much. But a lot of times when I'm sick, I do need help with day-to-day activity. It's not as much getting sick this time, but in the past, I've needed help. I think the last time I got sick, I really wasn't feeling well, and I didn't feel well enough to hook up my TPN, so my nutrition through my heart. So my mom would help me by setting it up and hooking me up to it, because both me, my mom, and my sister are trained to do all of those. Now, my sister rarely ever does my line care. That mainly was just the times I've had a PICC line. Solely, it's me that takes care of it, and then my mom will help out anytime I need her to. If I need help with my med schedule, because my med schedule starts at 6 a.m. and doesn't until 10 p.m. If I'm tired and need a nap, like I'm probably gonna nap after filming this, my dad's gonna lay out TPN for me so it can warm up so I can take a nap in this very short window that I have to do so in the afternoon. So it just, a lot of things like fatigue affect people with chronic illness a lot harder than they would the normal person. And it can be overwhelming. And also this is going to be in a different video, but fatigue and tired are not the same thing. If someone with chronic illness says, I'm really tired, most likely they're referring to fatigue. When a non-chronically ill person says, yeah, I'm really tired, that's most likely a sleep fixable feeling. For someone with chronic illness, we could sleep 20 hours and we still feel the same way when we wake up. So that's just like, that's one thing. But like the fatigue can kind of be overwhelming. You might have to take naps where you usually wouldn't. Usually day to day, I don't take naps. Otherwise it would mess up my sleep schedule. But today most likely I will. Just because I'm super tired from this ear and sinus infection. But one thing I wanted to remind you guys about this is you're not a burden for needing help. And this doesn't just apply to when you're sick or feeling under the weather or anything like that. At any point in time, you are not a burden. Okay? You hearing me? Because I want you to hear me. I don't want you to just hear the words that I'm saying. I want you to hear them. You are not a burden. You are not lazy for needing to rest and recover longer when we get sick. We have to rest longer so we bounce back to where we're supposed to be. If we don't, we're not going to bounce back for even longer than we want to. And I know my chronically ill friends, we all hate being bedridden. I hate being bedridden. I'm supposed to be in bed right now, but I'm not. But you're not a burden. You are not lazy. You are not lazy for having to rest and take breaks and need accommodations when being sick. And also do not push yourself during your recovery time. This is something I even had to be reminded of by my mom yesterday because I kind of wanted to go on a project that I'm working on because I felt really good. And my mom's like, hey, how about we wait until the infection's taken care of and then we'll deal with this, project that you're working on. I begrudgingly agreed and, then started typing my bullet notes for this episode. But I just wanted to be a reminder, pushing yourself in a recovery time, it will never result in anything good. When you are sick with a chronic illness, rest. If you need help, rest. Or if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for help. Even if it's the small things. And when I say small things, it doesn't matter how small it is. It doesn't matter if it's someone helping you do your laundry or grab your medication or fill up your water bottle or help you set up a nebulizer treatment. It doesn't matter. Ask for help if you need it. And don't wait until you're too far into a point where you are struggling and have to pay the price of not asking for help. Use your mobility aids, anything you need to, medications, stuff like that. Use all your resources to help you while you're sick. I'm using sinus rinses, nebulizers, both my inhalers, all my allergy medications that I can. You know, I'm rotating as I'm dealing with this. I still feel crummy, but the point of this video is sick isn't just sick for us. It can turn things into a very, very dangerous situation that we have to deal with. So I really just want you to make sure that you ask for help before you end up in a situation where you could be in a more serious situation than, let's say, if you just asked for help instead of being stubborn. And I can't say too much because I can't be too much of a hypocrite, but ask for help. Remember, you're going to need more time. Be patient with yourself. Rest. Find a good TV show or movie series to binge. I don't care if you watch the trashiest written plot in existence. Something that requires like 0 brain cells to watch is typically what I end up watching when I'm sick. Listening to something, audiobooks are fantastic, but don't push yourself. And to those of you who aren't chronically ill that are watching this video, check in on your chronically ill friends that are sick. Be like, hey, do you need any help with anything? Do you need any help with your medications so you can take a nap? Or do you need me to get you anything, whether that be water or electrolyte packets or a certain food or something? Because I know everyone's dietary needs are different, and I'm kind of a complex case. But yeah, don't be afraid to ask for help. The people that love you will be willing to help you and not mind helping you. You're not lazy. You're not a burden. Remember this. Do your treatments. Take your medications. Don't forget to hydrate. If you've enjoyed this video, follow, subscribe, same thing. Hit the notification bell because my posting schedule is quite irregular. Like this video. Yeah, I think that's pretty much for all the chaos this episode. This is a new series that I'm planning. It's called Candid with Chronic Illness, or Candid Conversations with Chronic Illnesses. So if you have any topics you want me to talk about or any questions, please drop them in the comment section below. Be respectful, and I will answer your questions, whether that be in the comment sections or in another video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, like, subscribe. See you next time. Bye, guys.